to Vibrant Living with Nousha. I'm Nousha, a former climber of the corporate ladder turned lifestyle entrepreneur. Each week, I'll bring you an inspiring message to support you in designing and creating a vibrant, fulfilling life. Thank you for joining me today. Now let's get started. Hello and welcome to Vibrant Living with Nousha. I'm Nousha. Very excited to be here with you today and have a special guest, Joseph Ghabi. Welcome, Joseph.
Thank you for having me, Nousha. I'm excited to be here today.
Yeah, it's such a pleasure to go deeper with our topic, which is spiritual health. And more specifically, we're going to talk about our soul purpose. And the word soul, we're going to use both of the terms S-O-U-L, our soul purpose, and S-O-L-E, our soul purpose. And the intention for today is for us to take a look at a different perspective about why we're here. You know, as human beings on planet Earth, why are we here? And Joseph will share with us some tools that can provide more awareness and understanding about our soul purpose. So really excited. And a little bit of background about Joseph before we get started. Joseph is an engineer by trade, and he also has over 20 years of experience with numerology, which is very interesting because you're not just a numerologist, you have combined numerology with energy work such as bioenergetic synchronization techniques. So you discover information through numerology, and then you support people in awakening and healing. So I love the combination of offerings you have. And for those of you that want to learn more about Joseph, you can do that by going to my website, NoushaBehbahanian.com. And on there in the resources section, Joseph is one of our Vibrant Community Service partners. You'll see more information about his work as well as a special offer he has for the listeners today. So let's get started. And it's really interesting because I follow Wayne Dyer, and Wayne Dyer talks about the concept that we are spiritual beings having a human experience. And it was really interesting when I heard Joseph's work and got to listen to Joseph that he has a very similar philosophy. And so Joseph talks more about our soul agreement. So that's where we're going to start. Would love for you to share a little bit more about the whole concept of a soul agreement and what is that?
Okay, your soul decided to come here and been planning on coming here for 1,000 years. So it's not like overnight to wake up and okay, I'm coming down, you know.
Right.
So there's a lot of preparation. So nobody can do anything by themselves. So we need to have partners.
Right.
So when we partner with our parents, for a reason that I need to learn more about myself, self-confidence. I need to learn about forgiveness. I need to learn about controlling my anger, whatever it is. So your dad, your mom signed those agreements with you, and maybe your uncle, maybe your teacher at school, maybe whoever it is, they all signed that agreement to support you,
Right.
to move forward.
Wow, that is really interesting. And so what you're saying is that before we came to planet Earth, we were in a lobby waiting to come down to planet Earth. And in the lobby, we were with different souls, and we sat down and said, we want to have X experience, and we will have an agreement with, for example, the biggest agreements are with our parents, that these are the people that I'm choosing, and that I will have certain experiences with them, and they will support me to often grow in ways that might be uncomfortable to have certain experiences. And as you mentioned, we can't do this by ourselves, and that's why we sign these agreements with other people.
So you have one type of agreement, which is your parents and your worst nightmare people that gonna give you your worst experiences.
Right.
You know, whatever those experiences, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Now, you have other soul agreements with people who's supposed to get you out of those experiences. So these are another type of groups, from healers, from psychotherapists, whatever they do.
Okay.
Even doctors.
Yes.
So whatever those, it's supposed to bring you to another level. Now, once you get to the other level, this is when you start going now, where I want to be going. So it is, in a way, to get you to the same map where you're supposed to be moving all along, because this is where your direction, where it's going to take you, where that purpose. Now, purpose is not about a destination. It is about your journey walking through it.
Okay.
Now, walking through it, you can take the easy road or you can take the highway. It's your choice.
Okay.
Nobody forcing you. You can stay miserable all your life, or you can say, what the heck, doesn't matter.
Right.
You know, I'm willing to drop it, and I'm willing, you know, and you need to cut the agreements. The moment you cut the agreements, because the agreements are irrelevant. Now, you went through the experience, but unfortunately, if your mother is still annoying you to do today, because there's an agreement that is her duty to keep annoying you.
Right.
So you need to let her go of that duty.
Right.
So you need to cut that agreement.
Right.
Otherwise, she's gonna keep drinking it, and you're gonna keep attracting people that are gonna provide you exactly the same feeling.
Right.
It's all about the feelings.
Right.
You know.
So sometimes we can live out an experience for too long. So you talk about cutting the agreements, and Joseph actually has a special process where you can cut those agreements. And I've had the experience of that, and I have seen a huge difference. And I know that those agreements are now complete. And so we set these agreements with different people in our lives, especially our parents. There are certain reasons why we signed an agreement with them, but as we grow up, those agreements no longer serve. And unfortunately, for many of us, we start to attract similar patterns of experiences over and over again in our lives. And when I learned about your work, I was very excited about the possibility of creating something new. And until I was able to cut those agreements, I wasn't able to create anything new. So, you know, for those of you listening, I invite you to look at Joseph's work because it is profound and can make a really big difference in your life. So this is the soul agreement. Now, Joseph, you also offer the blueprint destiny. What is that? Tell us more about that.
Okay, your blueprint destiny is, let's imagine ourselves when we came into this life, you have a barcode on your head.
Okay.
So your parents scanned that barcode. Let's see what this kid's gonna be.
Okay.
You know, but unfortunately, they never read those agreements. They never read your barcode because they didn't know that exists.
Right.
Because that's our human nature. So, but that barcode is coming basically from your name and from your date of birth.
Okay.
And it's not by coincidence. So everything is meant to be for the hour even. To be born on that specific, even if it was wasn't a natural birth, it doesn't matter. It's all designed to be the way it is designed.
Wow.
So we have to go through those process. Now your date of birth gives you what's your blueprint destiny, what you're here for, what you're meant to learn, you know, to accomplish eventually. Now your name will provide you the experiences you're going through it to get to that destiny. Now, unfortunately, because we live in a human society, everybody would like to call you a different name.
Yeah, I'm sure you all have experienced
you
that.
Know,
yeah.
One wants to give you a name like a nickname here, nickname there,
yes.
And then you slowly start becoming more confused.
Right. So because our name has a vibration, and when we change our name, the vibration and the experience, because the name has to do with the experience changes.
Completely.
Right.
Completely, because every name has a set of rules behind it. It will give you certain experiences and certain strengths. So it has both sides. But if you had the strength in one name and you took it out, so what you have now? Weakness.
Right.
So we live in duality.
So when, for example, a woman gets married and she changes her name, it can change her experience.
And this is what I advise women to always seek a numerologist to see what she's gaining or what she's losing, or maybe she needs to use both names, her maiden name and her husband name, because sometimes why she needs to lose to suffer for nothing,
right?
You know? But if she's gaining, that's good.
Yes.
You know, that's extra cake for somebody to have that extra. But if you're suffering, that's it. That's your choice now.
Right, and that can have an impact.
A big time.
When you change your name, you could have actually a negative experience versus thinking it's going to be a positive.
I can give you an example. I was speaking with a client. I said, "Why you removed your maiden name?" She said, "I used my husband name." I said, "Yes, but when the moment you used your husband name, you lost your vibration 4, and that vibration 4 at one point in your marriage, it can lead you to a divorce."
Wow. Yeah.
But you shouldn't have that experience before. Now you're gonna have it, And she said, yeah, we're already filing for the divorce.
Wow. And so tell us about the vibration 4. What, she lost the vibration 4. What does that mean for people that are not aware of the numerology?
Vibration 4 works on the 4 elements.
Yes.
The mental, emotional, physical, and spiritual.
Beautiful.
Because you cannot balance yourself from one area and neglect the other area.
Right.
Then you walk limping.
So she lost that vibration in her experience, which eventually led to
and because
separation.
the physical part of the element, it consists about our career, our vocation, our relationship, our finances, our health, and can bring a divorce or somebody suddenly passed away.
Wow. So it's really interesting for those of you listening. Joseph has a wonderful podcast called Numerology for Life. And so it's numerology and then the number 4, as we just talked about, symbolic for life. And in it, he shares with you how you can figure out what your blueprint destiny number is. And he also talks about the energies of certain numbers. Now, this is just the surface. I know that when people meet with you, they can have a deeper reading. And then he also combines the name as well as the blueprint destiny
And
together.
I do the correction. If there is some correction to be made, I will give him the correction. Because what's the point not to give the correction, because you're still the same way.
Right.
So if there is a correction, I'm not going to make you change the name, but I'm going to suggest you to, if you have that problem, you need to get back to this vibration.
Balance it out
because
if something's missing.
Because it makes a huge difference. It makes a huge difference. Because what happened when you get married, this is one critical aspect. You met somebody, you were like this charming between each other. Everything great, The moment you change your name, now your blueprint expression start to be one way, and he is still on his blueprint expression. Now what happened, his expression with the new expression of you doesn't match.
Right.
So what happened?
So just with the change of name, and then you think, oh, it happened because we got married? Or...
Yeah, but it's a vibration.
Very simple.
This is how I do marriage counseling, is to see what's the vibration, what happened.
Very interesting.
And most of the time, because when they change the name, it completely complicates the whole ball game.
So this is the blueprint destiny. And again, if you go to NoushaBehbahanian.com, you'll find all the details there under the resources, more about what Joseph has to offer. And he has a very generous offer for the listeners. Thank you so much. And Joseph offers the numerology, the blueprint destiny, as well as some energy work and some corrections
releases
as well.
of some limiting beliefs sometimes, or whatever it is.
Right.
So whatever we see that is sticking, you're not able to move anymore because that is a block. So we will remove it instantly, because remember, everything is energy.
Yes.
So we're not removing the experience, we're removing the energetic field of the feeling.
Right.
And that's what's bothering us eventually.
Yes.
Because anytime you feel one emotion, sometimes you feel pain in one shoulder, or you feel pain in somewhere else.
Right.
And anytime you mention the same feeling, you feel the same in the same area, the same pain. Why is that? Because that emotion, when it happened 24, 30.
So Joseph, what is the impact of us not being aware of our blueprint destiny? Because I know there's a lot of people listening that may have never heard about blueprint destiny. And what is the impact if we don't become aware of it?
If you don't become aware of it, you have to face certain issues. And one of the issues is health. The second issue, where you're trying to do things and everything falls down. Nothing happens, nothing works. It's like you always go back, you start one step forward, you go 3 steps backward. And nothing is working in a proper way. And why is all of that? Because whatever feelings you have accumulated from your past, and every feeling is sitting somewhere on your energetic field on the outside of the body. And if somebody's trying to say to you and touches into a feeling where you felt unwanted, and that feeling, always when you feel it, it will trigger somewhere around the heart. You feel like, and depleted or whatever, it gives you the feeling. And every time that same feeling comes, and you feel it at the same place. Now, the moment you remove that feeling from there, you won't feel it anymore. Now, why we have those problems if we don't keep moving? Because you're trying to move forward, but you're having a backpack on your back that you're trying to avoid. your backpack, every time you grow in age, it gets heavier and heavier.
Yes, because the backpack is symbolic of the experiences
Yes.
we have in life, and these experiences and beliefs.
Especially
that we
the
have about
emotions,
ourselves.
undealt emotions.
Okay.
You know, like some people have feeling unwanted, some people feeling unloved, and some people feeling that they're feeling of criticized or being criticized or being rejected.
Yeah.
All of these coming from different experiences.
Yes.
You know, nobody came here and said, "Look, on my forehead, I have the fear of rejection." Nobody coming like that.
Right.
You know, we're all gonna learn it. We're gonna earn it to have that tag
Right.
on our head
Right.
that I'm afraid of being rejected.
Right.
You know, so it's not gonna happen on its own.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when you go into trying to accomplish something into a career, and then you go into that career, what happened? You're trying to sell. I have no confidence. I'm shy. I'm this. I'm that.
Mm.
You take another course, still the same.
Mm-hmm.
You keep taking course after course, you're still the same.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's all, you have to go track those emotions coming from where.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, my dad always tell me, who's going to listen to you?
Right. So what your work does is it goes back to the root,
I have to go
which
to the roots.
which often happens with the experiences we have with our family,
Yeah.
our friends, our teachers, our
Mhm.
community at a very young age, and those form our blueprint. And
It's your
we
foundation.
right, and if we don't clear those out, then
Mhm.
we start to attract similar experiences. And so your work takes those out so that we
You
have
have to
a
clean the
clear
base.
foundation.
The foundation has to be cleared.
Right.
Because it's like you keep carrying everybody. If you have problem with mom and dad, you're carrying in your backpack mom and dad anywhere you go.
Right.
So if a client comes your way and your dad in your back head saying, "Nah, this doesn't work. You're not good anyway. So what's the point?"
Right.
You know.
So you start to attract those similar
Yeah.
experiences, and you're still in the same kind of cycle. Nothing new
Nothing
is
new.
arising.
It's
really.
always the same attraction, the same feeling. So
Yeah.
and that become tiring.
Mhm.
You know, depleting.
Yeah.
Because it's not getting you what you need to be getting out of it.
And eventually, this can show up as disease in our bodies. And I know we've talked about in my episode number 1, we talked about the importance of having the physical, the emotional, mental, and spiritual health in an optimum level. And this is a great example of, we focus a lot on our physical health and our financial health, but we often forget about our emotional and our spiritual health. And I love your work because it offers us avenues to heal and to optimize our emotional and spiritual health.
Now, many people, they tell you, I've been working on myself for so many years.
Right.
But why you're still in the same place?
Yes. Right.
That means it's not closed yet.
Right.
We still need to close those agreements that you give the right to your mom to keep you that type of experience.
Right.
So if she poke you somewhere, you're gonna jump anyway because that's what she knows how to do. But that you don't need to keep it for all your life.
And it's interesting because, when we talked, I thought, you know what, I have a great relationship with my mom. Like, things are great. There's nothing. And what I learned, though, is that I was attracting other people in my life who were reflections of the energies that I had with my mom.
The same feeling.
There was the same feeling. So that was fascinating for me. And I've done work with you, and it was a really interesting experience to see the results after that, after having healed some of those
and
things.
the work is not that hard, but it only takes dedication to do it. And I
Yes.
think you do a good job of that because you're too dedicated and you're too,
Thank you.
So sometimes you can drive me nuts if because you're too
I'm very
by the book.
disciplined and focused.
You know,
Yes.
you
yes.
know, and that's what makes the work faster.
Yes, so for people who are committed
Committed,
and
yeah.
disciplined and dedicated. And at the very first level, to be aware of the blueprint destiny. I think that's where to start.
You
And
have
for
to
those
start
that
there.
are interested, they can go deeper and on that path. So thank you so much,
My
Joseph.
pleasure.
I want to end with a question because we're living in amazing times right now. And you are doing some very powerful work. And so what is your vision? What is your vision for the planet? What do you see as possible for us?
Look, you're not here by coincidence. You're here for a big, major reason. And this is why you see a lot of old souls, a lot of master numbers hanging around here. Because this is the first time in human history we are experiencing the new flux of energy,
Mm-hmm.
which is, we call it the fifth dimension.
Mm.
And it never happened in the humanity history
Wow. Right.
to see. So many souls are bombarding here to come and experience it. Now, nobody can tell you how it's going to look because nobody experienced it before.
Yes.
So everybody will give you what they think or what their guidance is telling them.
Yeah.
Their internal might be showing up,
Yes.
but technically we don't have any experience.
Yeah.
Once we pass the first cycle
Mm.
of it, and then we know each cycle how it happened,
Mm-hmm.
then we can become, next cycle will be the same in a similar fashion.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we know how it's going to be going. And that cycle started in December 12, 2012,
Mm.
when the Mayan calendar stopped.
Interesting.
And that's where, you know, now what this energy is doing, from what we're seeing already, if you're having something you've been avoiding all your life, you're going to be completely, in one of the year of those 9-year cycle, you're going to completely hit bottom with it.
Right.
Because you have to face it.
Okay.
There's no running away from anybody, including myself. Everybody has to go through that. So you're going to be bombarded in order for you to really take a deeper look at it.
Right.
You know, so once you get out from that and you survive all the crash, then you start completely and everything open up too fast and to move, because you have to move in a better direction, because the energy, we don't know how it's going to look.
Right.
So we cannot build a building if you have a leak in the foundation.
Right. So the energies are rising up
Rising
and
up.
lightening up. And it's up to us to also lighten our load so we can keep with these energies. Otherwise, we will get sick a lot.
And
it will eventually turn into disease.
it's going to turn into disease, because there's a lot of people will leave this plane if they keep resisting,
Right.
to be honest.
Right.
And we've seen it. How many we lost last year, for example, from in Hollywood.
Yeah.
You know, we have a huge number, and we already started this year with a big number. So
Mhm.
it's not like, you know, if you don't wanna, you wanna resist, you don't wanna. I'm too tired to do this. Okay, then maybe it's time to
There's
go.
an impact. There's
Yeah.
an impact on the body.
So
Yeah.
disease will start immediately start to rise, because I don't believe we also should be happy anyway.
Mhm.
We all should be joyful. We all should be fulfilled. So
Mhm.
disease doesn't have any place
Right.
in that.
Yes.
So disease is our own creation,
Yeah.
because we're resisting something else.
Right. Right.
Otherwise, there's no place for it, because you're here to have a happy, joyful, and fulfilled ending.
Yes.
You might have a sour beginning, but you're supposed to have a joyful, fulfilled, and happy ending.
So this is our birthright, to
Yeah,
be
this is our-
happy,
yes.
joyful,
That's it.
fulfilled. And if that is not our experience, then we are carrying too much stuff in our
Yeah.
backpack that we need to unload.
We have to unload.
And so I'm really grateful for your work. Thank you for being with us
My
today,
pleasure.
and the work that you do supporting us in really healing emotionally and spiritually. So thank you everyone for joining us today. It's been a pleasure to be here with you. And once again, you can learn more about Joseph by going to NoushaBehbahanian.com, the resources section, and under resources, Vibrant Community Service Partners, and you can learn more about Joseph and the offer that he has. Again, very generous, and I invite all of you to, at the very least, get the Blueprint Numerology and learn more about yourself and your destiny and your life path. Well, Joseph is also part of our Vibrant Living community on Facebook, so you are not alone on this journey. You can join us and join our conversations on there. And until next time, everyone, let's be vibrant, be bright. It is our birthright. Now, let's go out there and shine our light. Thank you for investing this time with me on the Vibrant Living with Nousha podcast. I'm so glad that you joined our conversation. If you would take 2 minutes to positively impact someone's life by sharing this episode, that would be wonderful. Please leave us a review by visiting iTunes. Let us know what you enjoy and what you'd like to see more of. It will support us on our journey to causing a worldwide epidemic of vibrant living. Until next time, be vibrant, be bright. It's your birthright. Now, Let's go out there and shine our light.